Are you there? Creating an online presence in your course. Have you seen this course? Students read from a textbook, complete an assignment based on a chapter, post a discussion reply or two, take an online quiz, repeat the following week. Is this considered an online course? Actually, no, not according to federal financial aid guidelines. This would actually be a correspondence course. Online courses, which we want to be considered as distance education courses, require regular, substantial, instructor-initiated interaction. As you may have noticed in the course that was described, the instructor wasn't even mentioned. This is an important distinction because correspondence courses are not eligible for financial aid. Most faculty teach because they love it and enjoy interacting with students. In fact, some faculty say that they aren't interested in teaching online because they feel that they're not really part of an online class. That should not be the case. This regular interaction can also be described as instructor presence. You should be present in your online class. So let's define instructor presence. Instructor presence is the way the instructor presents themselves to and interacts with students in the online classroom. It's an opportunity for you to convey your personality to your students just as you would in a face-to-face course, such as caring about them, their learning, your sense of humor, and most importantly, showing a passion for your discipline. In a face-to-face classroom, we don't think about how the student gets to connect with an instructor. They see you each week and they can ask questions, and they may go to office hours more frequently than online students. And instructors assess student learning on a regular basis, both formally and informally. The old adage for online learning was that instructors were no longer a sage on the stage, but a guide on the side. While this may be true to some extent, and that lectures are now substituted with a variety of online materials, being a guide on the side does not mean merely grading assignments and answering emails. Students should feel a connection to their instructor, similarly to what's experienced in other teaching modalities. Instructor presence is created by having regular, substantive, instructor-initiated communication throughout the course. This means that an online or hybrid instructor should be regularly reaching out to students by sharing course-related content and information, and not just responding retroactively to student work via grades, but actively guiding them through the learning process. There are many benefits to creating a presence in your course. Evidence strongly suggests that it leads to increased student retention and student success. The literature clearly shows a direct correlation between active engagement of instructors and student learning in online and hybrid courses. And it also creates a sense of community in a course. Yes, students can connect with other students through group projects and discussions, but without the instructor to tie it together, many students report a sense of isolation and a feeling that they're on their own in their journey through the course. Active engagement can provide more opportunities for instructors to identify and address problems as well. Rather than see problems as they arise in graded assignments, if you're actively engaged in your course, you can catch misunderstandings and clarify issues such as assignment instructions or tough concepts before students become frustrated and before they move on to another lesson. So what counts as substantial interaction? It's important to understand how substantial interaction is determined. There isn't just one way to interact with students and be actively engaged in your course. Remember that it's important to use a variety of methods rather than to rely just on one or two types of interaction. The CAC catalog includes the following language. The frequency of contact for online, hybrid, independent study, and other alternative modalities should be the same as for the equivalent face-to-face course. If students normally would receive weekly contact, the online or other modality of the course should include weekly instructor-initiated contact. Regular and substantive faculty-initiated interaction between the students and instructor in an online course should include at least 3 of the following. These are some of the options laid out in the language. Course announcements, such as assignment reminders, unit openers, or class feedback. And if you use discussion boards, some instructors choose to participate in the forums with additional prompts, asking questions, using chat or texting apps. And you can also use email, of course, as long as it's related to the content of the course and the email is instructor initiated. Here are some methods you might want to consider for your own courses. One way to engage is through announcements. For example, some instructors will post an announcement that introduces the upcoming module or unit, gives assignment reminders, or summarized comments from the previous week's material and student assignments. Module introductions allow the instructor to put their own thoughts to the students or give them the big picture of the week's topic, which is especially important when students are getting the majority of their course content from a textbook or from other outside sources. Summary announcements are great because students will see that you're reading their assignments and will sometimes be more likely to read an announcement posted on the course homepage rather than feedback on their individual assignment. If you use discussion forums, it really depends on the format, but in your discussion prompts and the students in the class as to whether or not the instructor should participate. You don't want to steal their thunder, but at times it can be helpful to prompt some students to expand on an answer or point them to additional resources. Email contact is also considered a substantive interaction as long as it is instructor related and is related to the course. Email or text message reminders or assignment tips are welcome by students who are juggling calendars for multiple courses. When students work on group projects, we often just let them do their own thing. However, it's often helpful to set milestones or check-in points when you look at the group's progress and give feedback and suggestions. Often students receive feedback when it's too late. Another type of interaction is to offer the opportunity, if possible, for students to meet with you face-to-face. While instructors do post office hours, sometimes they're not compatible with online working student schedules. Perhaps allow students to sign up for a variety of times during a particular difficult week or even at the beginning of a course to ask questions that might encourage students to come to you more. And frequent, timely feedback is essential for student success. And be sure to let your students know when to expect feedback. One of the great things about technology is that many instructors can find fantastic content and media-rich materials related to their subject matter. It's important to have a variety of materials for different learners and is a good practice to use diverse materials rather than have all the learning come from a single textbook. While there's great content out there created by others, another way to interact with students is to include some instructor-created non-text materials. This puts your voice into the course and helps to create your online presence. If possible, you can also provide content via synchronous and virtual meeting. Another way to initiate contact and build presence is by creating your own blog. It's a nice alternative to announcements. There are many tools available to help you create an online presence. Blackboard has tools for announcements, blogs, surveys, discussions, as well as creating video and audio content. For help finding the right tool to use, visit the CTL. Regardless of what methods you choose for your course, the main idea is to be present. Make some kind of connection with your students just as you would in a campus classroom. Contact should be initiated weekly using a variety of methods. Visit the CTL at Sigma Peak or the online site for more information on technology tools that can help or any questions about creating an online presence in your course.